On May 2nd of 2025, 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother, Jack, were reported missing from their home in the rural community of Lansdowne in Nova Scotia. A full year later, the case remains unsolved, and we still know very little about what happened to them. Joining us now is Michael Arntfield, criminologist and professor at the University of Western Ontario. Michael, thanks for making time for us today.
Of course, it's a very important case.
I'm interested to know, at the outset, Professor, what you have made of this case as it's unfolded over the past year. Is there anything that stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it cannot be overstated the statistical rarity of what we've seen, where more than one child goes missing at the same time. I know of only one other case unresolved in the US, 2001 in Chicago. And there is one other noteworthy Canadian case in Calgary where a grandchild was taken with their grandparents that ended in a murder conviction. So for two children to go missing at the same time and a year later to have no real investigative indicators, given that the police are still asking for tips and are actually also stating that they don't believe foul play is involved, this is extremely unprecedented.
What have you made, in fact, of the way the investigation has been carried out? It's being led by the RCMP's major crime unit, though, as you point out, they have not called it a criminal investigation. There's also very little physical evidence, as I understand it.
And that ultimately is the problem, the lack of physical evidence. I mean, the recovery of the blanket in the boot is somewhat ominous. And I mean, a year later, we can reasonably state that, or speculate, that the children are presumed to be deceased. That then leaves, without any physical evidence, the remaining question as to manner of death. So not necessarily cause of death, of which there's potentially hundreds, but there's really only 5 manners of death. And that determines how the investigation proceeds: accident, suicide, natural, homicide, or as it stands currently, undetermined. So without further physical evidence, I mean, police are operating on a theory, it sounds like, but without evidence as to manner of death, I think all options remain viable.
Is it unusual that the police have not shared even a theory of what they think might have happened? They also haven't confirmed other details, like the boot print you mentioned. If they think it was made by Lilly or Jack, they haven't really spoken about any of that.
I mean, this is a high-profile investigation. This is a extremely competent unit that's investigating it with significant resources. So they know what they're doing, and they're obviously holding back information as is necessary to preserve the integrity of the investigation, while still asking for tips from the public. After a year, and this has been the position of our research team for some time, when you have anniversary stories and you ask for, or there's a renewed plea for tips, it should be a bit of a two-way street. And as time marches on, some of the holdback information should be sparingly released to the public so they know what types of tips to provide. So in this case, we have no new information, and yet the ongoing request for information to go to them. So I would hope that in the coming maybe weeks that a little bit more information that will allow the public to, really sort of think on how they can help might get released.
I do want to ask you about the role of the public because, unsurprisingly, given the lack of answers, there has been widespread speculation, theories about this case. I know, RCMP, as you point out, they've said they're open to what they're calling fact-based tips. How helpful or how hurtful are public tips, public theories in cases like this?
Well, again, soliciting public tips is a double-edged sword. I mean, the public are crucial to solving a vast number of crimes, whether as tipsters, confidential informers, or just people providing information that can steer the investigation in a particular direction. But at the same time, can absolutely overwhelm police resources. I mean, in this case, there's been over 1,000 tips that have been, those are just action tips. We don't know the total number of tips that were maybe screened out entirely, but that have taken up valuable resources. So as you mentioned, when there's no information as to what the working theory is and all options remain viable, I mean, you're going to get everything from mind readers to people who have a particular theory or a grudge. So this is why information coming down sparingly, again, hold back information released sparingly, can really help sort of winnow those tips to meaningful ones. Versus now, I mean, it's anyone's guess. So people are calling in with all kinds of wildfire speculation.
What happens next? I know the RCMP have said there is a very slim chance that the children are alive, but their investigation continues. And volunteers, they're also continuing their own search efforts.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the best investigative resource for police is the continued search. There has to be additional physical evidence that will allow them to make, again, an informed determination as to A, what happened, B, a determination as to manner of death. I mean, ideally, the children are recovered. But at this point, without the children, all they can continue to do is hope for meaningful information to be forthcoming. And again, the searchers. I mean, we don't know what methods entirely have been used. Are they using infrared cameras, for instance, in the areas that they can't get to? Or what types of dogs are they using? Tracking dogs or cadaver dogs? And this is where the public can also play a role. There are outstanding civilian search groups that I would hope are being leveraged in this case to assist with and as force multipliers for the police search team.
All right. The investigation continues, of course, as we mark this very grim milestone of 1 year since the children went missing. But thanks, Professor. We leave it there for now.
Thank you.
That is Western University Professor Michael Arntfield.